Hey,
Hello, how are you doing?
good, how are you?
I am doing great. Hello, everyone. How are you guys doing today? My name is Al Williams. I'm over the Public Relations Department here at Capital Area Healthy Start Coalition, and I definitely want to welcome you guys to our Lunch and Learn. And today we have a very special two guests. We have Miss Haley Bush and we have Miss Pamela Banks, which reside at Brehon Services, and we are very excited to start our Lunch and Learn back up. So I'm going to do these quick introductions for Miss Haley Bush first, and then I'll go down to Miss Pamela Banks, starting with Haley. Ms. Haley Bush is the executive director for Brehon Family Services, where she leads the organization in strategic overseeing the daily operations of Brehon House, ensuring high quality resident care and services. With a deep commitment to social work, Haley holds her bachelor and master's degree in social work from Florida State University and resides in clinical social work. Haley specializes in trauma-informed care, which particularly focuses on women empowerment, overcoming systemic barriers. She has her certification in trauma focus and cognitive behavior therapy. This dedication has much helped her in her clinical studies to understand and address the effect of trauma, driven by passionate helping women navigate the challenges and their past building and resident future. Now, moving on to Miss Pamela Banks. She is over at Breon House as well. Miss Banks currently serves as the Healthy Families Gaston and Leon County Program Manager and explored by Breon Institute of Family Services, INC. She serves as a position since its inception in 1999. Wow. Breon Family Services and Healthy Family premieres statewide child abuse and neglect prevention programs that is evidence-based and nationally accredited. Ms. Banks' responsibility for the overall day-to-day operation includes program and not limited to project compliance, program analysis, supervising the staff, coordinating training, and establishing and maintaining collaborative community partners. For the last 10 years prior to serving as the capacity for Ms. Banks, she held variety management positions with Florida A&M Historical Service and statewide Senator Bob Graham. Ms. Banks is passionate and has spent 35 years of her professional career in the maternal, infant, and child area and focuses on prevention of poor birth and outcomes and prevention of abuse and neglect. Ms. Banks received her master's degree and bachelor's degree from Florida State University and is married with two daughters. All right, guys. So I'm going to relinquish and let them get started. I'm very excited about this lunch and learn and learning a little bit more about Breon House.
Awesome. Thank you guys so much. I'm gonna go ahead and share my screen now. All right, just making sure everybody can see that. Okay, perfect. Well, thank you guys so much for attending. We're very excited to be able to share our services with you all. As Alfred said, my name is Hallie Bush. And I'm going to tell you a little bit about our agency. So, Breon Family Services was started in 1978. It was actually started by a group of women who were in a sorority and they saw that there was a need for services for pregnant homeless women in the Big Bend area. We were previously known as Serenity Shores, but did undergo a name change. And a lot of people wonder what Breon stands for, if it's somebody's last name, but it's actually an Irish law. And so that law is to offer hospitality to those who dwell upon your place. And so we've kind of carried that message throughout the entire duration of us providing these services. So we are celebrating our 47th year of service right now. And so hope to continue to do this for 47 more years at least. So our mission ultimately is to prevent child abuse and neglect. And we have the vision of all the children in Florida are going to be born healthy and safe, and that their families continue to remain strong, stable, and self-sufficient. All of our programs that we have focus in on making sure that families are strong and self-sufficient. Our values drive every single thing that we do within our agency, down to the micro, macro, and meso work that we do at Brehon. We do have three different programs. When people think of Brehon House, it is an umbrella term. So Brehon House is one facility. We have that contract for Healthy Families, Gadsden and Leon County. And then we have Project Safe, which is in our Madison and Taylor counties. Both of those programs are in-home parenting education. And then Brehon House is the only facility that we have, and that is a residential transitional housing. I'm going to go ahead and turn it over to Pam to tell you a little bit about Healthy Families.
Thank you, Hallie. Good afternoon, everybody, and thank you to Capital Area Healthy Start for inviting us for this Lunch and Learn. I want to start just by saying that I started my career when I was 5 years old, if anybody's wondering how old I am. So I just want to put that out there. Um, Thanks for having us. I'm the program manager for Healthy Families, Gadsden, Leon. We serve both Leon County, seven particular zip codes in Leon County, 32301, 03, 04, 05, 08, 10, and 11. So those are the high-risk zip codes in Leon County. That was determined back at the initiation of the Leon County program, and a lot of different types of statistics were looked at, abuse and neglect calls, as well as poverty level, that sort of thing. We serve all of Gadsden County. Those of you who are familiar with Gadsden County, that's a huge geographic area. Chattahoochee, Havana, Greensboro, Quincy, Midway. So we go to all gamuts of the county of Gadsden. So our program is a long-term in-home visiting program. It is statewide and we are nationally accredited. So Healthy Families America is throughout the United States. Healthy Families Florida is throughout the state of Florida. There is a Healthy Families program in every county in the state of Florida. So if you ever have a need to refer a family to another home visiting program that they might be moving from your program or your service area, we are located in all counties of Florida. We're a long-term home visiting program, and most people are really shocked and surprised by this because most home visiting programs that are out there in the service community aren't as long-term as we are. We get our moms when they are pregnant, hopefully, that's the hope. We can enroll families with a baby up to 3 months of age at the time of enrollment. So if mom's already had her baby, it's okay. You can still make a referral. We can still serve that family as long as the baby's under 3 months of age at time of enrollment. But we like to get our moms pregnant because obviously a healthy pregnancy delivers a healthy baby. So we try to serve families as early as possible in mom's pregnancy. We will serve that family up to 3 to 5 years of the focus child, of the pregnancy child age. So we may get a pregnant mom and then we walk that baby to kindergarten. Which is very long term for most programs out there. We like to say that it gives us the opportunity to make a lifestyle change for the family and not just put a band-aid on crisis that might be happening in the family at the time of enrollment. I have two supervisors. One sits in Gadsden County, one sits in Leon County, and under those are 7 amazing family support specialists, 3 of which are bilingual, Spanish bilingual. So we are able to serve the Spanish community in both of our service areas, which is awesome. We have wonderful Spanish families participating in our program. All of my support specialists do cross-serve counties, so just because they might sit in their office might be in Leon County doesn't mean they don't have Gadsden County families and vice versa. We provide a lot of different services, very comprehensive, again, from the pregnancy through age 5. This PowerPoint that I'm about to go through is really participant oriented. So it's a very basic PowerPoint. It's what we use when we are enrolling families to help give them a pictorial view of kind of the phases of our program and what they're going to expect to experience by participating in our program. So you can see that by this slide, participating in the program, families learn about baby's development and milestones, activities with the baby according to baby's age, The mom or parents and their child's medical care, home safety, how to set goals and reach goals, how to be more independent, self-sufficient, community resources that they might also be in need of that we can make linkages to, family planning, most parents are interested in, and just helping them be the best parent that they can be. Who doesn't want to be a great parent? All of the families that enroll in our program want to be great parents. Sometimes they just don't have the tools or they just don't have the history. And that's what we're there to be, their personal parent coach, is what I like to say, their personal parent cheerleader. And that's kind of the goal of our program. Go ahead, Hallie. Thanks. So we utilize a couple of different assessment tools throughout the course of baby's development. We utilize the ASQ3. I'm sure many of you are familiar with that. Ages and Stages Questionnaire, version 3, as well as the Ages, Stages Questionnaire, Social and Emotional. So we're constantly evaluating baby's development and making sure that baby's on track, both developmentally milestone wise and also social emotionally wise. If we find an indicator where baby needs to be referred out and further evaluated, that's why we use these tools, and we're able to go ahead and make those referrals early on so that babies don't get further and further behind, and by the time they are school age, they're caught up and they're ready to go. We teach discipline with love. Positive discipline techniques is one of the major parts of our program because we are an abuse and neglect prevention program. We found, and research finds, that the more bonded a parent is with their child, the less likely there are to be incidences of abuse and neglect. It makes simple sense. If you love something, you're not going to hurt it. And so we help families fall in love with their babies. We set and achieve personal goals for the family as well as our target children and other children in the home. Mom may have personal goals that she wants to set and achieve. A lot of times it revolves around education or finding housing or becoming more self-sufficient, getting her driver's license, getting her GED. It can also be just simple things about wanting to spend more time with her kids or learning positive ways to spend time with each individual child. It can be simple or it can be more complex, but just learning how to set goals and achieve them. And we celebrate that goal achievement with our families as well. Obviously, parenting is the hardest job that families have, and there's no playbook for it. So parents experience stress. We do help families through crisis situations. It's the most important job they'll ever do, and we're just there to help support them do it. We do have tools, the Healthy Families Parenting Inventory tool. We utilize the Edinburgh Depression tool. So we also do a lot of assessing of moms and parent caregivers' mental health status, and we're able to make linkages in the community if we see that mom needs additional support in those areas. Obviously, our family support specialists are paraprofessionals, so we're not the specialists when it comes to mental health or domestic violence or substance use, but we do help make those linkages to the experts in the community that do support families through those types of crisis situations. We are all about home safety and child safety. We do a lot of home safety checklisting. We do a lot of home safety education. We have a standard 13 home safety topics that we perform and conduct with every single one of our families before the child's first year of age. We go through the home. We do home walkthroughs with mom at different developmental milestones of the baby to ensure that the home safety is changing and evolving as the baby's milestones and as baby is growing and their development changes. Obviously, home safety for an infant that's immobile is different when baby starts crawling and then walking. So we do it at different intervals of the baby. We're all about safe sleep as well. That's one huge topic we discuss during mom's pregnancy multiple times. Once the baby is born, we repeat all the home safety and safe sleep topics, and then as needed throughout that baby's first year of life. Again, we provide linkages to Medicaid, WIC, and lots of other resources. Again, especially the big three, substance abuse, mental health, and abuse and neglect prevention as well. Family planning is something we discuss with our parents if they are interested. We talk about birth spacing and the importance of that, not just for the importance of healthy birth outcomes, but also for the health of the mother. And that's something we do discuss with our moms as well, if they are open to that. And we talk about the different options that families have and what might work for them. We utilize a curriculum with our families. It's called Growing Great Kids. It is research based as well. It is nationally accredited for our program in particular. And there's lots of different principles that are reinforced, positive parenting principles with that education. The nice thing, the exciting thing about that curriculum is it is activity based. So when we are in the home, we are on the floor. We are doing activities with our families, leaving behind materials and leaving behind education that they then can pick right up with their kids and do themselves. It's a great curriculum. So this kind of shows you a little bit of what our home visiting level looks like. Our families start out weekly with weekly visits up until the baby is at least 6 months of age. Um, Eventually, they graduate to every 2 weeks, once a month visits, and every 3 months, much closer to graduation, usually within about that fourth year. We see them quarterly until they reach the graduation age of 5. And again, that is based on and depends on the stability of the family, that there are no crises happening in the home, how close to how self-sufficient the family is becoming at meeting their goals. So that weekly to every 2 weeks is a lot more gradual. Once they reach the once a month, again, that's closer to age 3, age 4, before we transition into that quarterly. And families by then are usually pretty stable and very self-sufficient. Thank you, Hallie.
Of course, thank you. So now I'm going to tell you guys a little bit about Brehon House, which I mentioned it is our only facility. Here are some pictures of what the front of the house looks like. I also encourage anybody who's never been to Brehon House to schedule a tour with us. It's one thing for us to talk about the services that we provide, and then it's another thing for people to see it in action. So to qualify for Brehon, you have to be over the age of 18. You do have to be pregnant upon admission into the program, and you can have one additional child under the age of 3 accompany you. All of our residents come in and they are unhoused, so they are homeless upon admission into the program, and we can accommodate up to 6 women at any given time. So we have 6 rooms for them, but just because we can accommodate 6 women does not mean that there are only 6 people in the house. If everybody comes in with an additional child, everybody delivers while they're here at Brehon, then we can have up to 18 people in the house at once. So it does get a little hectic. The average stay is around 6 to 9 months, and 100% of our residents that have completed our program do move into more permanent housing. We have been very successful recently in being able to place those who have completed the program in its entirety into something that's more permanent and stable for them. This is what the inside of the house looks like. So when you walk in, it looks like a normal house. That's what we want it to feel like. We want you to walk in and feel at home, because for upwards of almost a year, our residents are here and this is their home. And so when a resident comes in after they've completed our intake process, then they have a room, which is shown here. We set the room up according to the need of the resident. So if they come in with a toddler, then we'll have a toddler bed in there because we also do practice safe sleep. So all of the babies and children have to be in their own beds. But we'll set that room up for them so it's all ready to go. The last thing that we want them to have to worry about when they're coming into the program is that they have to make their bed. We talk a lot about with our residents that coming and meeting us is a trauma in itself. And so making sure that we can alleviate as much stress as possible is the goal whenever they're being admitted into the program. Here are some of our services. So we are transitional housing. So our ultimate goal is that we're securing permanent housing. So we're walking through with our residents the different housing options that are available, connecting them to additional resources if there are any gaps in services, and they can stay with us until about 3 to 5 months postpartum. Our timeline has gotten a little bit more fluid over the last course of a year and a half due to the housing crisis that we're in. And something that's amazing about us being an independent nonprofit is that we can kind of assess that situation and determine individually if that's something that's needed. Our residents do undergo case management, which is going to be based on an individualized service plan that they create. So every resident's coming in with different obstacles and barriers into permanent housing. Maybe we have an eviction, or maybe we've just never had any housing at all. Maybe we don't have a driver's license or a birth certificate to even provide to the housing complex. So everybody is coming in with a unique situation. So we're catering it based on that. They do have weekly case management that is a requirement of our program. And so during case management, they're going over this individualized service plan and they're creating and monitoring the progress of their goals. Our case manager meets with them and looks at what they did the week prior, making sure if we're submitting housing applications that those are in, and then doing any kind of follow-ups with the housing complexes if that's what's needed. We also partner with outside agencies to bring various groups within the home. We tell the residents if they have any interest areas, it doesn't necessarily have to do with their case at all. If they have an interest area and wanting to learn how to paint, then we will find somebody to come and teach our residents how to paint. We've had people come out and teach them how to cook. We have had many different informational groups based on the interests of our residents. And the goal is always to provide them with as much support as possible and connect them with the things that they're interested in for their life. We do skill building as well. So we are working on parenting education during that case management piece. That is an integral part of the case management as well, preparing for baby and then also making sure that they have the education as well once baby is here. We're doing nutrition classes, which we have every week, every Tuesday. So our residents go and they learn about the proper nutrition for themselves and for baby, making sure that they're having a healthy pregnancy while they're there. And then we'll send them to different resources if they have a need for workforce training or if they're wanting to go to school while they're here. A part of our program does require that our residents either work or go to school. And so if they come in and they don't have either the education or they don't have the job, then we'll go ahead and route them to those things to get that taken care of. We do a lot of events. We're very event heavy around here. So one of our biggest events, which we collaborate with our Healthy Families team, is the giveaway. So we do a monthly giveaway every fourth Friday of the month. And what that is we get a lot of in-kind donations. So we'll have a lot of clothing items, household shoes, you name it, we have it. And anything that we don't utilize in any three of the programs that we have, then we give back to the community for free. We don't resell. It's literally open to anybody. They don't have to be affiliated with an agency, although a lot of them are previous participants or current participants that come out to them. But it can be a regular community member. So if you have a need and you want to come to the giveaway, you're more than welcome to do that as well. And again, that is every fourth Friday of the month. We have two fundraisers. Our major fundraiser is hosted in the fall, and that is Boots for Babies. And that is our silent auction. And so we set up almost 100 baskets, if not more, baskets that we've created and we auction off, and all of the proceeds go towards the house. We're currently in our spring fundraiser, which is Lace Up for Babies, and it is a virtual 5K. And so that also goes towards client care as well. And we'll get our entire team out to Cascades and we'll walk the park together. And that is done throughout the entire month of April in observance of Child Abuse Prevention Month. Project SAFE, which stands for Support and Family Education, that is in Madison and Taylor counties, and that is a home visiting program. That is an intervention-based program, so that is when a DCF referral has been submitted and it's going to the case managers, and they serve the family for up to 12 weeks. During that time, they're doing regular case management, so they're doing the weekly support, they're doing parenting education, job skills, resourcing, throughout those rural counties. A lot of people ask how they can get involved with our agency. And so again, if you have never been to Brehon, I really encourage you to tour it so you can see what we're doing here. We do volunteering all the time. Again, if a resident has an interest area, then we'll find somebody to come do that. And so we're always looking for people with various skills to bring that to our residents to share. We also have a huge need for people to come to our events, our giveaway, help us with the giveaway. We have other agencies who come out and also provide information to the participants of the giveaway, and so that's always super helpful. And then you can also donate any of your clothing that you're going through and you're gonna get ready to take it to Goodwill. We're right around the corner, so you can drop it off to us instead, and we will give it back to the community for free. We are open for business 365 days a year. Open during storms, during the hurricane, we were open. During the snowstorm that shut down the entire city, we were open. Somebody is always here. We are staffed 24/7, so our doors never close. And then our contact information, you can find us on our email or you can call our office line. And then that is all I have for you guys. If you have any questions.
I have a question for Pam. I think I know the answer to this, but just wanted to see. Um, you said specific area or zip codes rather, but is the income base to be part of Healthy Families? Just
Absolutely not.
for the
Yeah,
good of the
no,
group?
our program is completely free and it is not income based at all. So yeah, no, good question, Abigail.
And then Hallie, too, for Brehon House, do you all partner with any like apartment complexes? Or I mean, I know this housing crisis has got to be chaotic in your daily life no matter what, but is there any help that you have on any side to get these moms into stable housing?
Yeah, so when I first started in this at Brehon 3 years ago, it was definitely a struggle trying to get people into housing. And so we had to get very creative with how are we going to place people into permanent housing. And so the solution that we came up with was to make friends with the apartment complexes. So every few months we go out to the income-based apartment complexes, talk to them, tell them about our services, tell them about our program, try to get them to buy in. And then from there, we're able to add our clients into a waiting list. We've also found really good success with continuing to follow up.
Mhm.
Follow-ups can be the thing that people don't really want to do, and I totally understand. But if you continually follow up with them and show them that you're serious, that you want the apartment, that you need the apartment, then a lot of times they're willing to accommodate.
Perfect. Well, any other questions?
I
Well,
have another question for Hallie. For the Brehon House itself, do you all like, are there any specific donations that are needed? Like, is it specific to, like, do you need bedding? Is it more clothes? Is there anything you need specifically for the house if people are looking to donate?
Yeah, for sure. So the house, we're constantly going through blankets. So the comforters, we're constantly running out of those towels. Everything that we give our residents while they're here is theirs to keep. So pillows, blankets, all of that, I'm not asking for it back. I'm not telling them to keep it in the room. That goes with them when they leave our agency. And so we're constantly needing those items to be refurbished while they're here.
Thank you.
Mhm.
all right. Well, I definitely want to thank you guys for joining us for this lunch and learn session today. We do have our next lunch and learn, and that's going to be April 4th. It's going to be addressing postpartum nutrition with Miss Danielle B. Foster. She's a licensed clinical social worker. So she will be going over that information. I have already lined everything up for everyone to receive that lunch and learn next Friday. So definitely look out for that. And I definitely want to thank you guys for joining us and have a great rest of your Friday. And we will see you next month. Bye
Thank you. Of
bye.
Awesome. Thank you so much, Hallie and Pam. We appreciate you.
course.